welcome back. Oh yeah, there he is. He did it.
Nice.
A shout out for Eminez, who less than a year playing League.
Yep.
It's just, it makes me feel really bad about myself.
Yeah, I feel pretty insecure when I play video games when I see that.
Yeah.
Really? It makes me feel good. Because then at that stage, it's just genetics.
Right.
And it's not my fault, it's my parents.
You're just genetically superior.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that makes me feel even worse. Now,
Yeah.
for some
No
reason.
matter
Now I'm
how
blaming my
hard
mum.
you try your passion, Nick,
Yep.
there is always going to be someone that has a predisposition that means that they can spend no time on it, and they're better than you.
I don't want to burst your bubble, but I have a very weird and specific passion.
What's
that? We'll talk about it later. All right, it is time to dive back into the Nick bag. Question comes in from Alexicon13. My friend likes the Star Wars prequels more than the originals, especially The Phantom Menace. How do I show them they're completely and utterly wrong?
Well, it depends what you like in a movie, Nick. It depends whether you like modern cinematography, special effects, you know, something pretty,
Yep.
or something that has depth and a form of originality about it, and actual character and storyline, and everything else. Or actually, you know, the other thing could be pod racing.
Pod racing's
Pod
pretty
racing's
good.
pretty
It's good
lit.
scene.
That was the only good part of the first three.
I'm out of my depth with Star Wars.
You don't
I've,
watch it.
I've watched them,
Yep.
but they were like in one ear out the other type of movies. So it's beyond me.
It's been a fair few years since
like them.
I've watched Star Wars. I think I haven't even seen the newest one that came out just yet.
Okay, well, let me tell you. The newest one is a piece of shit.
What about the one before that? Because I saw that and I was just like, oh, that was a movie. Do you know what I mean? Like when you watch it and you're just like, that
Yeah.
wasn't worth my movie ticket.
Yeah. No, I get that. Your friend can like whatever they want, but I will say, the one thing, and I think that the latest Star Wars film has shown us that the one thing the prequel trilogy did have for it is that it is the only trilogy within the three trilogies of the Star Wars universe where someone sat down and went, okay, this is the story I want to tell over three films. The original three movies, he made one movie and then it got successful and was like, now you need to make two more, figure out what you're going to do. For some reason, the latest trilogy has just been, no one has communicated at all within Disney. Go like, this is the story we want to tell with the $500 million you've given us to make these. No one has agreed on a coherent vision. So at least there's a coherent vision with the second one.
Do you know what the first ones also have?
The original films?
Yeah,
What?
a Weird Al Yankovic song.
Right, true.
Which,
there you go.
The saga begins, maybe the best Weird Al Yankovic song ever.
Yep, there you go.
I'll have to listen to it after.
Have you never heard it?
Well, I probably have, but like I can't think of the jingle off the top of my head right now.
I'll sing it for you.
All right.
Off camera.
I can do the whole thing.
Before Jake gets his copyright strike, at I Badmouth, should I get back with my ex?
Oh,
That's so incredibly vague. Like
that
can we
gives us
just
no
request that
context.
They email us with more.
So I did.
Oh.
I said, I need more context. How did it end? To which he said, I broke up with her and now I regret it.
That's
We're
like
not laughing at you, we're laughing at your pain.
it's like, you know, when you're like trying to extend an olive branch and it's not giving you anything back. You know, you're just like, give me some details.
I mean, I guess it sounds like it didn't happen terribly potential. I mean, I don't know the circumstances of the breakup, but it wasn't like he broke up with her, so it wasn't like he'd done, it sounds like he hasn't done something so irreversible that, yeah. But at the same time, I mean, I'm a big romantic gesture. That's me. I like that. I reckon if you really like her and you really want to make it work, go for it. But you need to show that you've changed from the man who left her.
Agreed. Also, like, as long as she doesn't hate your guts and this isn't some form of like weird annoyance after the fact, right?
Yep.
And as long as you're sure you actually want to get back with her,
Oh yeah.
then you never want to live with regret.
That's true.
Yeah,
Rejection is not as bad as unknown.
That
is
is-
what I found out over my life.
Very true.
That's actually, yeah, that's pretty wise words.
But at the same time, if you get back together with her and then break up with her again, you're a monster. Also,
True.
I don't know, there's that thing of like, there's just in life, there's a shine when you're in a relationship or you're in a job or anything. And then when circumstances change, it's not necessarily always for the better, but that shine is gone. Like there's a popped bubble. So to go back into that relationship, what I'm saying is I think she's probably moved on and she's found someone better. And because you can't, it's hard to go back.
It's because the decision was made the first time.
It was made, and now she'll never be able to look you in the eye and not see the moment that you broke
Sorry,
up
I'm
with her.
shipping Nick's advice. I'm meant to
Assuming
be
you had the
against it.
chutzpah to do it in person.
It's easy to love because of, but it is difficult to love in spite of. But that is real love, when you love someone in spite of something.
This is profound.
I love you.
Jacob. I'm here for this.
Yeah, I'm
In
just. Where's my
spite of your
notebook?
terrible hosting ability.
This
right?
is beautiful. This is oh wait,
Yes,
what?
boy.
We need a host cam on
was
to
perfect.
Jake here for this.
But that makes it more meaningful.
So that's
that
what
we
I'm saying.
hang
So
out.
if they can get back together and she can get over the fact that they broke up,
Yeah.
that is actually truer love than having been with someone that never made a mistake in the
That's a
first
good
place.
point. But also, she gets a hall pass because that's just how it works. All right. Dave O'Erlo says, what are better, brand or store brand chips or lollies?
Brand or store brand?
Yeah.
Well, it depends.
Well, what? Yeah. Do we pick examples to run off? Because I think it actually depends on the type.
It depends
Pringles or Aldi Pringles?
Yeah.
I mean, it also depends if any of these companies want to sponsor the OPL in the future.
That's a good point.
So we should just go.
I
with
like
brand.
all brands, and I think that they should come here now.
Jake's Montemiri, I like all brands. It also depends on whether or not you are hosting the children's party and you need to buy the
yeah.
the one that is 4 times more expensive than the other one. Because I've been to some of
Is
those
the
parties.
store brand version of hundreds of thousands like hundreds and tens or?
Yeah, what I mean, but for stuff like that, it doesn't matter at all, right? Like
No,
they don't
but
even
like
have a
it's-
taste.
Yeah.
Maybe
Unless you want to sponsor the OPL.
In
And
which
then we
case,
love your taste.
hundreds of thousands.
maybe it appeals to like different audiences, right? Like maybe you've got like diabetics out there that want like sugar-free lollies, so they have to go for the brands.
Let's go with snakes. Okay, we just pick a topic. to
Allen
discuss.
snakes are OP.
Yeah,
They're
Natural
OP.
confectionery company snakes are also very good.
but
No,
that's
Yeah,
not
sure.
store brand. That's brand.
That's
yeah,
brand,
yeah.
that's a
brand,
So we're
brand.
agreeing
Yeah.
with brand.
Yeah, so we're agreeing. We're all fans of
I'd
brands.
say
Yeah.
I'd go brand usually,
brand.
yeah.
Always brand. I always go brand.
Because you know what you're getting. Whereas like you kind of like roll the dice with like non-brand, and you have like 2, and you're like that was shit, and you just chuck it out.
Exactly. And you know that the cost will cut somewhere. You can't figure out how, but it's probably some sort of terrible-
Marketing, Nick. It was cut on marketing.
It's literally just packaging
Yes.
as well. Yeah. Okay, one more question. I'm going to jump down to medic for the win. Would you rather have a chicken that honks like a goose or a goose that clucks like a chicken?
I'd rather the chicken, because the chicken actually has a useful byproduct, which is an egg.
Isn't the honking real annoying though?
That's interesting.
Like that's the
I
trade-off.
don't get it. This is going to surprise a lot of people.
Yeah.
But since becoming a dad,
Yeah.
I have a newfound patience. My patience is actually incredibly high for stuff like that.
Just
For annoying noises.
Yeah,
But you
absolutely.
didn't give birth to, well, either
Yeah.
your son
No, but
or the chicken.
even my
goose.
team annoys me less now
but you own the team
than what
as
they
well
did
in-
2
in-
years ago. No,
So
the
The comparison I want to give though, I'm not saying like direct owner, but like when I was teaching, I was fine with the children and the noise, but once I was home, I was not fine with it. Because for me, that was what I had to
No,
do.
I'm just much more patient. See, even like 2 years ago, this conversation would have pissed me off. But you know what? I'm putting up with it. So I'm a changed man.
You're an excellent person. What if one of those kids honked like a goose, though?
That'd be pretty funny.
That would be pretty
I
funny.
think you'd have a harder time not laughing anytime he wanted to speak.
That's pretty true. All right. Something that could potentially be
Yes,
pretty
Goose Man.
funny is game number 4 for the evening. It is Chiefs versus Mammoth. My patience with Jake is wearing
Jake
very
versus Mammoth.
thin right now. Let's get up the Chiefs lineup and see who they've brought.
More, take us through it.
No, Theon in the top lane, Croc in the jungle, Claire in the mid lane, Katsuri and Korea CK. Seal is going to be their coach, and this team right now is on an absolute bloody tear, taking down challenges, non-challenges, everyone in their sight with little to no difficulty.
I agree
knew
with
that was
everything
coming.
you just said. I'm just reading Twitch chat right now. They're stuck on 2 things. One, they can't believe that you said gooses don't lay eggs.
No, a useful egg.
And then no one thinks that you're patient. Specifically, where was it? Easy 8 Os spawns patience in MPL though, reminding us that during the game last night, Spawn rage quit the game because I gave Skimmy a
He
compliment.
could have read
That's
Squid
not
earlier.
patience, that's jealousy.
Let's,
I'm still a jealous creature.
that's a good point. Touche, sir.
Oh.
Let's take a look at the legacy lineup. Please, Rusty, say
Mammoth.
He's lost the plot.
Kwaku's your top laner. Bass in the jungle. Lived mid. Styled and Nausicaa support.
Alrighty, let's not make them wait any longer, and let's not be stuck in this room any longer. It is time for game
Yeah.
number 4, Chiefs versus Mammoth, right after this short break.
It's the final game of week 2 as we enter the OPL 2020. It's the Chiefs up against Mammoth, and if you can tell, looking at their scoreline, 3 wins for the Chiefs and 3 losses for Mammoth. It's going to be an uphill battle for the boys in red.
Yeah, it certainly is, especially given the fact that they wear orange skimming. So we'll see
Red?
whether they can
Am I
make it work.
colourblind? Have I just
Maybe.
been diagnosed on stream?
Maybe. But yeah, this is going to be a tough game for the Mammoth lineup. Do you know what else is tough?
Yeah.
Our window of casting is really long at the moment. Like, we're in here like 2:30 to like about 9.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to know when to time your meals.
It is. I'm actually skipping meals. I am probably just going to lose a lot of weight over this.
Because I've been working out. Don't know if you can tell. Thank you very much for the
Nah.
compliment, speech chat. But yeah, it's been like one of those things, right, where I just can't figure out when I'm supposed to eat dinner, when I'm not. Then I'm getting home and I'm snacking late at
Yeah,
night or
yep.
having like kebabs or something
Me
that
too.
I don't really want.
I'm
So
getting McDonald's like every day afterwards. It's terrible.
pretty much the reason I've taken you on this journey so far is because I'm going to put my headset up and I'm going to eat really quickly. And if
Smash
you
it
can
up.
just run us through the pick band, that'll be great.
I'm going to just shout out some interesting opinions and just get everyone triggered with my lack of knowledge. But some interesting things to talk about coming into this one. Both of these teams have actually had the quickest game duration so far. Chiefs have won within 27 minutes, and Mammoth have been defeated within 27 minutes. Both had the highest and the lowest KDA. Chiefs sitting on 2.74, with Mammoth on 0.48. So if I'm not really trying to spell a statistical point out here, it's that these guys are in very different categories.
Yeah, they certainly are, and I'm really interested so far with the pick band phase because we saw yesterday the Chiefs let through set. They picked up a Carly instead this time around. They have gone for the set, so showing their draft flexibility. Seal was very happy with how the draft went yesterday, and I think that was a really great point. However, this is kind of the draft that Order had put together, and it was taken down, I was going to say, by an Olaf pick right there. However, Olaf not going to be prioritized for Bass. Instead, they go for the Lovers duo lane there.
Yeah, they do. They do indeed. Aphelios taken off the boards. Not going to let Katsuri stick to that one. It's been a champion of his that he's been quite happy on. That's going to be the set in the top lane. I want to see what we can actually achieve with this in the OPL.
We also saw it played mid last night.
In the LCK?
Yeah, I'm not saying it should be played mid. I'm saying there is the potential that they just use the set to chase the Ornn around Summoner's Rift, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If Ornn goes top, set goes top. If Ornn goes mid, set goes mid. Does have a pretty good matchup there, not really all that much Ornn can do to poke him out of lane. And set is one of those bruises that if you get him towards 2 or 3 items is really obnoxious to be able to deal with. We've already seen how hard it is to kill the guy, but his damage with items goes through the roof, right? He scales terrifically well.
100%.
So we'll see whether that is the strategy, you know, maybe something that can finally scale alongside the Ornn here.
Double bans on towards the supports there. Mammoth wanting to narrow the protection that Katsuri can achieve here on this Misfortune. One for the shield, and one for the lantern.
I was going to say, and the Brawn ban is really interesting here for me. The reason being is because when you see Rakan, you think that he has a good matchup into Brawn. That's what all the supports have been playing at the moment, right?
Yeah.
However, it seems to be because they wanted to get Bass back onto his Gragas. This has been something he's played a little bit of already. So I think that is more of a let's use the support ban to help out our jungle, as opposed to necessarily just the jungle ban.
Are we going to see another Diana? They showed it to us once. They combined it together flawlessly with the Yasuo, getting the dream Wombo combo when you cast it in week 1 with Fish. They've locked it in. Kurosaki going to stick with that Nautilus that he's found great success on as well.
And it was interesting because I saw a post from Claire on Twitter, like, I wonder what order's going to ban. And it had his win rate on Diana. And it was like, you know, he won 10 or 11
Yeah,
games
I saw
in a
that,
row,
yeah.
right? And we banned it, mainly because of Thean. But Claire is now starting to play it. And that was what I was going to say. You know, now they have another one of these flex picks where they can potentially chase champions around Summoner's Rift. However, now playing into Gragas Yasuo, which is one of the best combinations in League of Legends, in my opinion. This is one of those games where Mammoth just have an out-and-out 5-man team fight.
100%.
They want 5 people on the screen at the same time from probably level 6. At the same time, Chiefs, they do have a good split pusher, they do have a good dive comp, but they need to navigate this mid-game, you know, level 6 to level 11 onwards, really, really tightly, because otherwise this game can get out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what Yasuo has available to him to unleash his ultimate. There were a few, to say the least. So I'm very scared to see exactly how much value that can find. If they can, if you will, press R and find value.
And also, Ornn has some great ornament upgrades here. He's
Yeah.
going to have 2 IE users on second item that are guaranteed going to be ready for that IE upgrade to come through, that Molten Edge. He also has the best jungler at using Stopwatch into the Zhonya's Hourglass in Bass in the jungle, right? So I think this is one of those games where, you know, maybe I was a little bit questionable on the value that Chippies was going to get out of his Ornn. Kweku is going to get maximum
Complete
value out of
flip
Ornn.
side.
If this game goes to level 16 when Ornn gets all the ornaments out, a 10,000 gold lead will nearly be nullified just through those item upgrades that Mammoth are able to get. Now, in saying that, their games end in 27 minutes, you said before.
Correct.
So maybe not going to happen. But
No.
if all things are considered equal, I actually really like Mammoth's draft.
It's been interesting, actually, because when Legacy took on Mammoth yesterday, they were able to take them down in 21 minutes. So if you're drafting a composition here that's just looking to bash, bash, bash with rocks being thrown like an erosion tactic, it's not going to reach that Wonder Dream moment like you desire.
I thought you were setting up the fact that maybe this is like a time trial run. Like, did you ever play Mario Kart where you would do a course?
Have like the ghost
your
chasing
ghost
you?
would
Yes,
start,
yes.
And then you're like, oh my god, why is my ghost in front of me here? How did he get so fast? I don't remember doing this course like this. I thought that's what you were saying. Like, all Chiefs are going to see is the 21-minute ghost
they
of
have
Legacy.
a goal in mind.
Speed running the Mammoth lineup. Let's see if the Chiefs are able to achieve what the other 4-0 team in the composition did and maybe take down the Mammoth lineup in very quick fashion.
What I think that's really what you're looking at is if you're a Chiefs fan or a Chiefs player, right, is that you are trying to showcase, you know, despite not having had that head-to-head matchup against Legacy, who really is still the one you should be keeping your eyes on, and you know, who should be that team to, if you're putting out power rankings, be designed and destined as that first place contender. But we're still loading into this draft here. And I'll give you an update on that one once I find out.
Yeah, I'm going to assume something went wrong. And the reason I'm going to assume that is we ran out of soundtrack, and that's never happened before. So as you can see, top left of the screen.
It's time for you to sing.
Games has been paused. Nick told me I'm not allowed to due to copyright. Not many things scare me.
But copyright
being
strikes
sued by Disney or someone like that definitely scares me. Because they have enough money that even if they don't win, they just like bury you in crippling legal debt. That maybe your life doesn't recover from there. And I got a kid, man. I gotta worry about
we can't
other
have
people.
that.
Yeah.
No, we can't have that, man. We have to be selfless in this situation here. I've just had an update that the wrong runes were locked in for one of the players, so the lobby's just being quickly remade to make sure that they have the best chance of success here. So we will be up and running in little to no time.
And I would rate this food.
What did you have? It looks quite nice.
Yeah, I had some form of like high protein chicken with a random sauce and some carrots. And
Is that one of the
stuff in
freezer meals that Matt got us?
there. Yeah, it is.
I might have to nab one of those.
Yeah, it's quite tasty. I'm a big fan.
Save some money, actually.
Got to save that money. Great song.
It is.
So talking about the Chiefs, they're an interesting team to me because they have a huge chip on their shoulder. I don't know if you've noticed that, Skinny, but every single time they like tweet or like they're out there, they're like, you know what? People thought that we weren't going to be that good.
Yeah.
But we've always been in finals. We've always been thereabouts. We're a lot better than people are giving us credit for.
Yes.
And to just deep dive into why people had doubts about this team, right? Thien was not the primary top laner. When you have Croc coming over from the LJL, only finishing third, that's a league that historically Oceanic has done it very well against.
Yep.
Korea CK was a solo queue support player that was just known for one tricking Thresh. That was all he was really known for. Then you have someone like Katsuri coming across from the Direwolves, only a second-year player. However, Rob did show a lot of upside. I'm sure a lot of teams were actually interested in Katsuri, right?
Yep.
As this off-season progressed. Really, the only tried and true member of this team is Claire. And he's been able to do it on a couple of different lineups, the Legacy lineup and the Chiefs lineup. But he's always been surrounded by really good players. This guy was on a lineup with Cupcake and Lost. Then he had a jungle like Carbon. Then he moves over to the Chiefs lineup, and he's got really good support tools around him there as well. So I think that people were a little bit skeptical of where the leadership comes in this team. And is Claire going to be able to fill those shoes now? Because he's always had like someone like Carbon or someone like Lost and Cupcake who were very vocal. Then he had Swiper on his team, and you know, Raze is a really vocal player as well. I'm sure you've heard Raze popping off in the room, right? And whether Claire can step up in this situation. And he's the player that will be my focal point for the Chiefs season. Because I think they need a leader on this team. And it does look like it's Claire that's been stepped up. He was a person that played the grumpy dad when he came onto the couch, you know, not happy with the situation. We don't want to be, you know, written off by all these teams. We want, you know, the gaming house and things to be a little bit better. So I'm really interested to see how he goes. He's kind of been around forever. I knew about Claire in like 2013. So I'm super excited to see whether this is a player that can really step up and become one of the best captains in the OPL and maybe, you know, lead this Chiefs lineup to something like an OPL final or even a victory, which would be super cool to me because that would be a huge evolution.
Yeah, I mean, he even said in his interviews before the season even took place that, you know, he'd lost playoffs 7 times. Like, you know, if you're talking about the swipe evolution, about, you know, he's been around for such a long time and still continues to play at such a high level, the drive is always there. It's always going to be there because you want success and it's in your blood. You know, this could also be, I suppose, echoed on Claire that he wants to still end up in that spot. Regardless of all these mid laners that have gone overseas, he wants to assert himself as that dominant force. And, you know, you're looking at the likes of M&S, Harry, Shock, great mid laners across the rosters that he has to face in this league. So far, I mean, he's definitely making a case for himself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's had a really great start to the season. He's playing lots of different picks. Yesterday on Lysandra, he looked really great. Had a really great Yasuo game against Pentanet as well. So I certainly agree. And it really is a slide on Claire because when people said the best 3 mid laners retired or whatever, say Swiffer, Triple, Ryoma, they do forget that Claire has, you know, made a couple of the last grand finals. He has been on those big stages in those big moments. And
he's no fresh chicken.
Yeah, people are writing him off a little bit. So I understand him being a little bit peeved at it. And honestly, I'm happy to see him succeed. He's always been one of my favorite players to watch. Picked him for Origin a couple of times, and I think he's an out-and-out superstar. So really happy to see how it goes.
It's definitely fueled the fire in the Chiefs camp. It's got them to the spot right now where they're currently 3-0. And here we are for game number 4, the final game of the weekend, coming into week 2 of the OPL. It will be, once we get this game underway, Chiefs taking on Mammoth. Here's that lineup again. Looks like the rune setup issue has been sorted, so we're loading into the draft, or loading into the game, I should say, now. Comparing the two, I mean, you mentioned that Mammoth have a very heavy brawler-centric composition, but is there a clear favourite? If you were to take away the teams and the players themselves, looking at the champions in isolation, is there a clear definitive winner here?
Yeah, I think that Chiefs handily win the laning phase. Elise is a great jungler into Gragas, should be able to run him around Summoner's Rift, and I think they've got good individual matchups here, right? So I think Chiefs, if they're going to win, will win quickly. They're going to snowball themselves to a victory. If it goes past 4 items and level 16 start hitting, I don't see how the Chiefs lineup deals with the Mammoth lineup. So that would be my worry. I think Chiefs need to win this game before level 16.
Well, we're putting on a timer. We've talked about the time trial up against Legacy. Katsuri in a spot above it right now as he actually goes into the river. Start a Nausicaa. Maybe looking to tango. You could see the rest of the Mammoth roster kind of setting themselves up. And this is something that I'd actually talked about with Rusty in a previous game earlier today. We haven't actually seen any crazy invades, any real rowdiness in the level 1 interactions so far on the OPL.
Yeah, and it's good to see it now, right? Because when you do see that, although that's a bad ward, I'll explain why in a second. But yeah, when you do see the level 1 invades, it creates uncertainty, can give you a map split. And when you are Mammoth, you know, you're starting this game, you know, let's say all things designed equal, they're, you know, maybe lost draft early game by 10 or 15%. Then you have to put individual skill on, right? You know, that's another 10 or 15%. So they're already, you know, 30% behind the 8 ball. Maybe something like an early game invade, an early kill would be able to generate that. The reason I don't like that ward placement is because the sweeper would be up and available, you know, right about now. And that means that if you're Diana, you can run across there, you can get yourself a ward very early on into this game. You can actually hit level 2 off the first wave. And, you know, Croc has to pick up the sweeper in that situation and probably start red, but it could be worth it every now and again. So having seen Vision level 1 isn't all that great.
Both junglers going to start in the top side of the map. Both going to respectively go to the second camp as well, so we're not going to see a buff-to-buff rush just yet.
So this is the best path that I think you can take on, or at least, you know, camp to Gromp to Wolves is like a really quick, you know, 3 or 4 camp, depending on how many Scuttle Crabs you're able to grab yourself there as well. And Elise does it like no problem at all. She's not even going to use a potion, and she's going to be full health nearly after the red buff starts. So Elise is definitely one of the better new school junglers. Once the Krugs have been ramped up a little bit in experience, I'll be interested to see whether this path persists with Elise. But certainly should be much quicker around the jungle than Gragas, at least for the first clear. Gragas after 1.5 items just clears the jungle like nobody's business. But for now, Elise should be a little bit quicker.
Well, Gragas has responded by going to his Wolves, or sorry, to his Raptors, as it's been changed. And Elise actually walking through to the red buff, going to avoid that ward that you mentioned, actually expiring moments beforehand. As Gragas goes for a reset here.
And that's the difference between the two junglers. You saw Gragas just recalled because he had no potions, no health. Whereas Croc right now is full health and mana, hasn't used a potion. So he's just insanely strong. At this stage on Summoner's Rift is uncontestable. Bottom lane has been pushed in by the Chiefs as well, so now they're going to go for that 3-man invade.
Double buff, ready to rock and roll. Bass does have boots as a part of that recall to get that Predator rune online. He's going to retreat through to his Wolves. As the invade is still present, Katsuri completely out of lane. The rest of them are stuck at their own tower. Tien is in a spot of bother up here in top lane. That wave's going to crash.
CTN's just been trading really aggressively, right? Because he's actually up a lot of creep. So that leads me to believe that he's been trading a little bit of his life to kind of pressure Kweku off a lot of farm. He's going to go up with perfect CS, which he is not able to achieve. I was going to say 4 creeps, but instead he'll just be up 3. So that's really nice from Thien, right? This is one of those lane matchups where I talk about it always, but Ornn is one of those tanks that has such high base damages that he's allowed to lane, which is so weird for a tank, right? Normally those guys shouldn't be allowed to lane at all. However, with the high base damages, he's able to bully around a lot of bruisers. And it's not really until level 7 or 8 in first item shop the bruisers really come back into the lane against Ornn.
I'd love to see a priority here onto Tien because he has been a stellar performer on this roster right now. He's going to jump on and he actually falls on down. Does not calculate the output of that damage there, but a gauge in the bottom lane takes place too. And that's going to be Mammoth picking up 2 for 1. Incredibly happy in both sides of the map.
Yeah, it looks like it was a little bit of a turret dive coming across from Croc, right? And then he had to flash away. And you see that Style flashed after him, was able to pick up a kill in response. Now has double buffs. Take another look at this one, and it was. Nausicaa just gets spotted out on a ward. Croc comes in, flashes actually in, and repels, which is a little bit strange, because then he comes down in turret aggro. Carice AK probably should have tanked that turret up.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit more of an option there. But you can see Chiefs still, with that turret plating, with the additional CS they've been able to pick up in the jungle and top lane, up in gold.
An interesting fact here, or a little stat I should say. Before that death in the top lane for Tien, his KDA was actually 14, 1, and 13. So he only ever died once from the 3 games they've played so far. So that's the second death.
And his death was, if that's actually correct, which I have no doubt it is, Kimmy, because you provided the fact right. But the one death he had was between turrets when only like cheekily killed him after he had dove Swiper from full health, right?
Yeah.
So like that's his only death.
Yeah.
Which do you even really count as a death? Sure, he died, right? But like,
it achieved the objective.
He's writing worth in all chat because he had a huge wave, right? So,
easy GG.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting to me. It just shows how far Tien has come. He's certainly one of those up-and-coming top laners. And once again, I say this always, kind of tongue-in-cheek, but OPL has been destitute of top laners. Like, you know, Mimic as well as Flares and Dokla coming over was kind of the rebirth of top lane because I feel like they really leveled up solo queue. But before that, it was Chippies and Swiper. No one else in the region could play top lane to save themselves. So, has been certainly an interesting role.
It's actually interesting because I say that...
Actually, also Tally. Sorry, Jimmy. I forgot about you.
Out of the league, out of your mind.
Exactly
The top 3
right.
KDAs actually in the league right now do fall to the Chiefs between Tien, Katsuri, and Korea CK. Katsuri at 15, 2, and 19. So the carries, or the prodigies, if you will, definitely putting in a performance as Claire jumps in, gets the grab back in. Liv surviving on little to no HP. The Ignite not going to be enough to try and find that one. Ornhorn catching out one. He jumps in the air, and Claire does care.
And this is the thing, right? These low bottom of the table teams have been able to generate themselves such good early games. Kweku with the disciplined play actually walks back top lane while Thien burnt the teleport. He uses that to be able to help out the bottom side of the map. Now they got themselves a dragon. Now Styled is 2-0 and has himself a BF versus triple Doran's Rush coming in from Katsuri, which is, whilst the preferred item build on MF, going to set him back so far behind, like something like an Essence Reaver or IE.
The same could be said for Diana.
It's definitely normal for Diana as well. When top laners used to do it, we'd call it like mini Rod of Ages. Certainly doesn't scale like Roll, right? But Diana is one of those champions that does need some tankiness. So this is a great catch. If that had been a knock-up, then it would have been instantly an ult out of Liv. Now this is a bad use of exhaust from Liv because it should have gone over, obviously, onto Claire. So the fact that he lived whilst exhausting your support, you got to kind of thank your lucky stars. But it was great layer of CC then that was able to get kind of the party started on the other side of the map.
Well, the game begins for Mammoth. Happy for them if you're a fan. 3-1. They find the kill. And they achieve a dragon as well. The Infernal one of that.
And I mean, I love when Infernal is the first dragon because it means it's probably not going to be...
gone.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't like the burnt red.
No.
I'm a fan of brushes. And burning away brushes, I don't like.
Are you a conservationist?
I am. If you haven't learned, I very much do like the environment.
Is that why you're saying this is how you take down Legacy? Just take all the trees away?
Yeah, well, no, I wasn't saying I was going to take the trees away. I was saying the irresponsible people in the world, obviously.
The world is doing it for you.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Sadly indeed.
You know, we dropped... I was at Riot when we dropped Nautilus into the Great
I saw
Barrier
that.
Reef.
That was a great initiative.
That was actually... That is my favorite memory of all of Riot Oath, right? That was the original Ocean Week, and the fact that we were able to do that. And the player base was able to come together and do that, and I thought it was awesome. And then you look at the Great Barrier Reef now, and you nearly cry. Fast about to be caught out here.
He may be crying as well here, Spawn. He's forced to barrel roll away. He burns the flash as well. Nausicaa is on the ball.
Okay, you'll take that. He gets out with a flash. However, the fact that he doesn't die is very big. Still, that is going to be the Rift Herald started up and cannot farm top lane right now, Style. So a really nice setup of a pink. However, Kweku does get himself a little bit of CS down in the bottom lane. And a plate for his trouble. So at least trading on Summoner's Rift right now.
It seems like Kweku's actually causing Tien a few troubles, hey? Because he's like pushing in these plates in the top lane, rotating through now to the bot lane, as we've seen these 8-minute transitions for Herald take place too. He's actually behind a little bit in CS, but definitely getting structural advantages.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Tien would just be thinking to himself, you know, once I got my Trinity Force, this matchup is going to be absolutely fine. So I'm not really all that concerned. And all Ornn thinking to himself is stay in experience range for long as possible so I can give my 2 Infinity Edge users Multimate. Like, job done at that stage of Summoner's Rift. Throw out an ulti every now and again to look like you're an active participant in League of Legends and, you know, you're fine. However, this usage of Herald from Proc, going to be staring at it, you know, intently. He's also got himself that Runic Echoes pickup, so a little bit of gold ahead right now of Bass on the Dragoose.
Top lane go to the pings. It's Elise that has the Herald in possession.
And right now, if you were Styled in Nausicaa, you're terrified because you've got an Elise that's dipped into topside Fog of War, and that Diana, that pesky Diana with triple Dorans is also dropped into topside. You know that they have a Herald, and your jungler was bot. So the fact that there was nothing dropped there, you know, and now Nausicaa has been able to hit the level 6 on Rakan, which is super important, you would be thinking, oh, we've escaped with a little bit more than maybe we should have.
And topside jungles is completely blind right now for Mammoth. The only vision they have is actually on the camp they're taking right now. But that's not where the focus is so far. It's definitely still on this punch-on battle between both solo laners.
And this is really interesting because Chiefs are now taking a recall about a minute before Dragon. So we'll see whether that is where their priority is going to be. We need to be able to pick up this next pair. I think that Dragon is... Oh, Pulse of Thought. That's good damage.
No major upgrades that I can see. I have a couple of control wards there for Korea. That's quick. Oh, beautiful dodge there. Croc nearly landing that cocoon. Gonna look to try and connect with that final haymaker. It's not gonna be enough. Out comes the Ornhorn. looking to try and persuade them to maybe run away.
That's very interesting that he used the on-horn there, because it did clear a lot of the way, but the turret is still going to fall down, and you would have thought that if he got back in time for the Dragon, which he might have been able to, it would have been a great use of the ulti there.
Absolutely.
Thien using the ultimate early and not getting the kill could have been disastrous, but now the Chiefs having traded ultimate, Thien's ultimate for Kweku's, I think that will take that trade.
Yeah, it almost indicates to me that Mammoth had no intention whatsoever actually even wanting to contest this. All it is for them right now, as you say, stay in XP range, get as much gold as you can, just try and delay the inevitable, because Chiefs want to come at you. You can give away a second one.
Okay, I can see that actually. If all it is like, hey, let's make sure that we don't get a second charge off on a turret, or, you know, feel like they can run into our jungle after this and get really big waves of prio. We just want to stall out and play a delaying tactic. I can see that actually being not a bad ultimate coming across from Kweku. However, he should have died there. Like, that was just mislaying a CC. Croc didn't want to burn the flash. If he did, he would have killed him, right? So I think that, you know, Chiefs not unhappy with the trade either. And you can see, again, Croc has ended up on the correct side of Summoner's Rift.
Here comes Tien. It's never been a slow moment here in this top lane. These bruises, all they know is fight, fight, fight. Kweku this time landing the cocoon underneath the tower. There's the damage, there's the grit, and there is the execution.
Oh, will he live? Yes, he will. Just on the opposite end, under 100 health there for Thien. But a really nice executed turret dive. The fact that they only had to use one flash for it as well against the tankiest member. On the flip side of Summoner's Rift, however, Claire has to play very respectfully, and this turret should be pushed in by Lift. So at least once again, things going in Chiefs' favor. They're certainly getting the gold lead. They're 800 gold up now, but I think Mammoth are trying to trade as much gold as they possibly can at this stage, and it is working out. You can see there is a big CS lead in that mid lane.
Without a doubt. Tien forced to back away now as Kweku makes his way back to the lane, clear up against his counterpart, if you will. The wombo combo they've displayed to us once upon a time. But there is a heavy presence, a trio of Mammoth members ready to seize the moment and pounce upon an opportunity as Career CK sits outside of vision, still wondering if the dive attempt is on.
And I think they would have spotted him, right? Because there is very good vision throughout the jungle right now of the Mammoth lineup, and he's no longer showing himself on mid lane turret. So where else is he going to be? Instead, he's helping out clear maybe a jungle camp and trying to get some vision back for the Chiefs lineup. This means that teleport coming into the top lane. Goodbye, Kweku.
Croc just does not know any form of chill. He comes, and he comes again, and that's all Kweku can do, scratch his head and go, why me?
Yeah, I mean, that is a lot of resources burnt to gank a side lane on, right? Who has already got the wave into the turret. And also used his teleport to get back, to be fair, so Thien just matching teleport cooldown right now, but certainly the Chiefs punishing their side laner and trying to put the tank behind. I think they know that if the Ornn is able to get to the state of the game where he has that 3 items, he's probably unkillable, to be brutally honest, and certainly trying to stop that from happening.
Excited to see how this Claire Diner pops off. From the tweet that we saw, it definitely showcased a fair bit of love and strength.
However, Skimmy, solo queue is not competitive play.
I was waiting for you to say that.
And Claire's a really great player, right? And I've already mentioned that. He's Victor and he's Control Mage player and he's Yasuo week 1. Always been top notch. But Diana is one of those champions that's very hard to translate into competitive play, because if she gets CC'd once, she is really squishy for a melee assassin. And she's one of the old assassins. And by that I mean, she has no way out. All the new assassins seem to have like a way to get out of danger. However, Diana has none. Once she is in, she is in. So if he's not blowing people up, if his team isn't strong enough to take those fights, then he could be in a little bit of trouble. Right now, once again, he's getting the map split on him as well. Nausicaa could be looking for something. Instead, it's just going to be a turret trade.
And kind of highlighting what you mentioned before about the double Doran's rush on both carries here for the Chiefs. You can see both sitting on major items, both them and their counterparts in Mammoth, but the difference being because they went for the Dorans, they're still sitting on the brown bags, if you will, the basic boy boots. As we wait for a map objective to take place, but Kweku has just had enough. Jumps up, can he run away? He's just not allowed to be 0-3.
Yeah, I mean, and Croc right now with double pen items can just solo him, and you have to really question what Kweku was doing in that topside forest. He had no control because 3 of his members had been bottom lane. And then Styles and Nautica also didn't rotate over to help him. This is where rookie teams are going to make map mistakes, and the Chiefs just punish it masterfully. Now they have inside track on the mid lane turret as well. Kweku's still down for 10 seconds. They can push this one in, they can get a bit of chip damage, then go towards a dragon if they want. And all of a sudden, we're talking about a 2,000 gold lead, when really, it looked like Mammoth were doing a pretty good job of being able to trade out, but Chiefs just edging them out. 3 repetitive picks onto this Ornn. The end now, you know, half an item, if not a completed item up, as well as those couples of levels. And Kweku's just having a miserable time on Summoner's Rift.
Soon to hit level 11 ultimate upgrades on these AD carries. Already present on the solo laners. As the Drake does spawn, Mammoth are the ones to get there first.
And this would be an interesting fight if you're Mammoth, because I don't think you want to fight right now. I think Theon going to be very hard to deal with, as is Claire. However, it looks like they're going to go for it.
Now comes the teleport. Croc instantly flashing in there. He does actually steal it away. He gets what he needs, and he does it perfectly as the Ornn Horn comes out. Only onto Tien, who gets slapped up into the air, but he's just so damn tanky. Slam dunks too, slams their heads together afterwards, and the combo! Claire just absolutely disgusting. Triple kill.
And that's what I said. I don't think you want to fight at this stage of the game. A, you're not tanky enough and you don't have the damage items. This is the stage of the game where the bruises reign supreme and the Chiefs wipe the floor. Not only that, they steal away a dragon and now they get themselves mid lane turret. This game, which was very winnable for Mammoth, is now nearly out of reach.
Very scary. Once we start ticking on that talk, if that is even a consideration for the Chiefs lineup here at 18 minutes. Maybe trying to match what Legacy were able to achieve at 21.
Yeah, look, I think that's gone, right?
I think that is.
I don't think they're far enough ahead. However, this was really good signs of Chiefs knowing when they're strong. Croc flashes in, he takes the smite fight, and then Bass going forward means that he didn't check that there was a stopwatch there. It's going to be no big Yasuo. Lived only goes in onto Theon, who, as we mentioned, is super tanky, really deceptively strong at this stage of the game. They're able to get triple triumph proc for him. Claire picks up all of the kills, and the Chiefs are rolling.
Chiefs, Claire in particular, definitely back into this game. He's been lagging behind on that CS department, but that is not a factor to talk about anymore by any stretch of the imagination.
And now we have to see how they close it out, right? Because that early game, it's touch and go.
Yep.
But they started generating the picks that they needed. Now this mid game has been terrific. They've been able to go from equaling gold to generating themselves nearly a 5,000 gold lead over a couple of picks and a really good skirmish there. Now as we head to the 20-minute mark, as we said, now should be the time where they're the strongest. Between level 11 and level 16 is where we expect the Chiefs comp to be nearly unbeatable in these team fights. Can they use this window to either get themselves a Baron or get themselves a definitive team fight where they can break the base and end the game?
Now, we missed the time mark, but Chiefs are actually one of the teams in the league that had the strongest gold differential by 15 minutes. Statistically speaking, they've actually achieved, by then, about 2,900 gold above their opponent. And we can see it on full display here. Obviously, a little bit later into the game, coming up to 20 minutes, it's a 5k lead.
And it's only the top laners that have it, right? When you have a look at it, it's 2,000 gold in top lane and nearly 3,000 in the jungle position. That's where the 5k is coming from. So, if a fight includes mid laners, 80 carries, and support, you can say that Mammoth still certainly should be a fighting chance to be able to take this one. However, as soon as Theon and Croc are there, not only are they ahead in gold, but they're also up 3 levels of experience. Bass level 9, equal with Korea CK, whereas Croc is equal with the solo laners on average of the Mammoth lineup. That's a massive lead.
It's a massive difference between the two of them right now. It's I don't want to say disastrous, but it's definitely starting to feel that way.
If you're 3 levels down in League of Legends, that's a feels bad, man. Our game don't have shared experience.
No,
you know?
it definitely does. I'm trying to be like the good cop whilst you're like, look, it's absolutely tragic.
Yeah, it is. And Claire might be caught out here.
Yeah, Liv looking for the 1v1, both 13, both for big power spike items. There will be the stopwatch for both of them. That's going to be the knock-up coming on out. The stopwatch to follow. The barrel may explode. 3 members committing.
But the shutdown going to Rakan. That's not what you want to see.
That is not what you want at all.
Give it over to the Yasuo. Give it to the Gragas at the minimum. And you can see that the Chiefs have been able to pick themselves up a kill and a turret on the flip side of the map. And they're now looking to break the base.
This duo have been inseparable all game. We talk about a lovers duo between Zaya and Rakan. Well, this might be the new lovers duo.
Croc and Theon, I like it. Mid lane turret also going to fall down. Katsuri going to pick up the major gold there, and we were talking about 3,000, now it's 6,000. Theon has to run, however.
They did it before. They're looking for a repeat this time in the bottom lane. They've had enough of what Tien can do. He goes for the charm. He goes for the slam down, knockdown. Looking for that lovers duo. Looking for the 2v2 as Star rocks up to the fight. The heal summoner comes out. And we may just see a parting of the ways.
Okay, that was a lot of summoner spells used there. They used a flash, ignite, and a heal. Theon only had to use his flash to escape. So certainly advantage Theon. We'll take another look at this one. Running forward with the Q. That's discussing movement speed. Really just great layering of CC there, to be perfectly honest. And you can see that no magic resistance still picked up for Kweku in the top lane. Means that he just is a sitting duck for Croc.
I mean, Trinity Force and Asterix. Yeah.
He's strong.
He's very strong. A lot of tenacity. A lot of ability to literally punch on. I wouldn't want to be trying to do a 3 versus 1 gank, that's for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. And when you have a look at how this game trajectory has gone, it really has been more of a slow grind for the Chiefs. But at no point have they looked really out of control. It's been a relatively low kill game. Every single major fight that they've gone for, they have won. So I've liked how they've played this one. They're showing their versatility. Once again, they're showing that they have more flex picks available. And Croc just continuing to have a dominating performance in the OPL. 60 CS, 3 levels. 9 kill participation of 9 certainly is the most impressive member on Summoner's Rift.
Definitely been very influential in his performance as to, in particular, I would say, getting Tien online. Double Infinity Edge is now there for Yasuo and Zarya. Seen the very first upgrade on towards that Sunfire Cape. Can this game last long enough where Kweku can try and be a force to get his team in a position where they can actually do something? As the boys come through, the hook was there. They decide not to opt for the cocoon and the follow-up.
How did that hook hit? That looked like it went around the wall.
It clipped the tree and said, how are you? I don't even know.
Now Baron started up.
That's a blind Baron. And also going to face check this one. We'll see the spot of water cross. Instantly going to nullify what that can see. He would have got a brief glimpse of that.
Okay, they have to fight. He's 3 levels lower. There is no way Fast steals. They've caught out the end.
Baron down to half. Tien just jumps on him, brings Lived into the middle of nowhere. The disengage of the cask. Lived already popping that golden stopwatch. Out comes the Ornhorn. Not going to find much value as it goes into Croc without any follow-up. Mammoth have burned a lot of resources here. Literally everything except the Featherstorm.
And I think now the Chiefs going to go back to it, right? The only ultimate that they used was Korea CK at the end. They still have the bullet time, and Yasuo is going back to base. Teleport coming out as well. This should be another fight, and I think the Chiefs win this one handily.
Lived has to run towards. This is going to be a 4v5. They decide to fight right now. He pulls into the bullet time. Oh, the fray through to Kweku. The shutdown onto Elise. Doesn't matter if you're down on levels because he can still body slam. It's a 2-kill, double kill for the boys of Claire. Tien finds another one and they just chase on through. The Baron, it's a bait. It's the team fights that we want. Tien, he's in trouble. He's on his own. He needs the boys to back him up. He can't even get the facemaker off. He can't even get the shield to survive a little bit longer. Everyone's going golden, and it's not even a trophy ceremony.
That was such a close team fight there, and the Chiefs win it with maybe collective 900 health left. Oof. However, that was a genuine 5v4. Liv wasn't there for so long of it. And you can just see that the scaling is already there. The fact that Ornn is so tanky at the start of these fights. Gragas, always useful. He's like the Orianna of the jungle, right? No matter how far down he is, this is one of those champions that is nearly impossible to stop from having a relevant impact. And the fact that there were shutdowns there might have even meant that gold-wise, Mammoth came out ahead despite losing more members. Because you've got to remember, every shutdown on Summoner's Rift right now is crucial. And they just picked 2 of them up. We'll take another look at this, right? Theon comes in with a teleport. Doesn't have ulti, so he's not the best person to start it. And I think that Kweku is just deceptively tanky there. First shutdown. Goes across. Lived still hasn't participated into it, but you do not want to chase through a Zaya. You can see the Featherstorm coming across now, keeping himself nice and safe. This is going to be some more gold going over in a second. I can't believe that he nearly fell down here, Claire. He's just waiting on the W cooldown, able to pick it up there. That's a big shield that comes across. But, one mistimed cooldown, that could have been a Mammoth win. And Baron still being on Summoner's Rift means that there's still another chance to generate a fight like that.
think Kweku's smile says it all, really. The fact that despite being bullied in this game, 0-6, still able to emit so much pressure. Bass, despite being so far down in levels,
Teleport coming in.
still able to find a kill. A quadra kill picked up there by Claire in that last engage. The Baron falls down,
giving
down
this
to
up?
30%. Will they contest? Smite's available for both. He doesn't have flash, only the ability to jump across. The Baron's going to be picked on up, and the engage may just take place. Split between top and bottom. Baron, sorry, that's the bullet time going out as the Featherstorm is a response to try and disengage in between a
Great
rock and a
ult.
hard place. And there is just so much AoE damage coming across right now, and Claire has the damage, and Claire's hitting double digits. That's another double kill to his name. He wants to triple, but Croc is the one to take it. Can Tien flash across? He can. He can indeed. That is the full 5-man ace. And that is Claire at 10-2.
Yeah, what a fantastic ult coming across from Korea CK there. Knows the flashless target, baits out the Featherstorm early, and then the two flankers there from Thien and Claire meant they didn't have to run across the feathers. They were able to pincer in from another direction. That's Baron down. That's the clean ace. And they might even be able to end the game right now, Skimmy.
It's looking like they may. They're running through this one here.
What is
As
going
our
on with the
audio
noises?
juked us for a second there. The Nexus towers are falling. The second one is destroying. 19 kills to 6. We're not going to see any pad stats. We're just going to see Chiefs go 4-0.
And Navy competitive League of Legends is just like solo queue because Claire on the Diana, after that early game, was able to take over Summoner's Rift. That was such an impressive performance from the Chiefs again, maintaining that 27-minute win time and just running over the top of the Mammoth lineup before it really came online. And that's the danger of picking these scaling comps, right? If that had have been, another 6 minutes, double Molten Edge, upgraded Zonya's Hourglass, two items for Ornn, maybe we're telling a different tale. But to pick scaling against the quickest team in the OPL is a ballsy call, and they were punished for it.
They were indeed very much so punished on that situation there. You could see how close that one engagement, that one chance that Mammoth had, and as you highlight, quite rightly so, a few more minutes, a few more upgrades, could have been a very different story. But this is why Chiefs are the ones in the lead. This is why Chiefs join Legacy in the top dog spot.
Victory.
And Claire there leading the charge, putting in a stellar performance on Diana.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think now it sets up the perfect battle between Chiefs and Legacy, the OPL Classico that we are going to see, I believe, next week. Two teams currently 4-0 in the OPL. It is the two oldest organizations within the league as well, alongside Avant, and they're having a really great start to the season.
We hope to see if that momentum can keep itself up. It surely has shown a rather explosive start to the first 2 weeks here of the OPL. And this time we will be jumping back to the couch. I didn't call it a desk this time, Nick. So pat on the back for that one. We've got Nick and Rusty on standby.
I'm not patting you anywhere.
Just doing his job.
Doing his job, yeah. Yeah.
Ah, come on.
Good. What we expected, honestly, but done in a decisive manner.
Yeah. I mean, the games today were mostly expected things, except for obviously the first one with Gravitas. But the manner of which that they were done were varying. This one, I want to say it was clean and very easy by the Chiefs, and it was in the end, of course. But there are still these moments, right, where Mammoth, in this case, were able to actually find kills from places where maybe they shouldn't. And this continues to happen through the league. It does start to spice things up.
It spices them indeed. Claire, did you feel spicy in there?
No, not really.
No?
I don't think it was that spicy. I think we just kind of sucked early. That's all.
And then you had it on lock,
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
pretty much.
Not too bad.
You mentioned last week that there was some communication issues, some of the in-game coordination. How's that resolved itself?
So communication is our main focus for improving the team. We've been working on it a lot. I think it's getting better. I would say this game wasn't so much communication. I think so Tien died to one early gank, had to expend his TP, and then there was a miscommunication when we tried to fight bot river. We didn't know Ornn had TP, we didn't talk about it, and then we just got maybe 2 of us died or something. And then the early game was I want to say rough, but it really wasn't rough. We still got Rift-tailed, we still got Drake, we still got first tower. They just got kills.
That's what I want to ask as well, because this comes back to who your opponent was, and there was a chance that if that was one of the, Legacy as an example, it may have been a different result just because of that early start. With these younger teams, are you seeing the potential there, and really they're just messing up in the follow-throughs, or
It's really weird to me actually, because Gravitas and Mammoth constantly get early kills. Every time I watch them, they're always up 3 or 4 kills early game, and then after first tower falls down, after Rift Herald gets taken, they pretty much fall apart. But I'm not sure what it is, honestly. Like, maybe it's a different mistake every time from every team. But this time was just, like, Romeo didn't respect the first gank. Died to it, probably shouldn't have died. Didn't comp TP, so we fell behind a bit early. And I don't know what the reason is for every other team falling behind, but maybe they're actually good early game.
Maybe. Well, we got the rest of the split to find out. Now, Jake mentioned it beforehand. You got the El Clasico coming up next week. And for the first time in a while, I feel like this is actually a bit of a challenge, a bit of a coin flip between the two of you. How are you preparing for that?
To be honest, I did not even know we were versing them next week. I only pay attention to the team we're playing like in the upcoming weekend, but I think it's going to be a really good match. Legacy on paper was supposed to be the best team to split.
Yep.
They have, like, they're undefeated. They look good, but not as good as I thought they would be. You know, like, I think they've struggled quite a bit, and I think maybe we've overperformed a bit, but we seem to look pretty good on stage.
There you go, Legacy. The shade has been thrown. The gauntlet has been shown. So looking forward to that. Please stick around for the end of the show as we take a look at the results for today. Obviously, we've just seen the Chiefs win, but other teams won. Gravitas took on Pentanet and took them down in Game 2. Order got the win over Avant. Legacy taking down Direwolves in Game number 3. And obviously, Claire and the Chiefs dominating Mammoth there for Game number 4. A look at the standings after the first 2 weeks of OPL 2020 Chiefs.
2 undefeated.
Number 1 equal with Legacy. It's a good place for you to be, Claire. It says the Chiefs again. That's not right. That's Direwolves.
Well, you're there
equal
twice.
third with Order. We've then got Gravitas, Pentanet, and then that disappeared before I got to the end of the thing. AV, and then
Mammoth.
So
Yeah,
there you
big
go.
boys.
Yeah.
I love the El Clasico. I love that it's Chiefs and Legacy back at the top after all these years.
Isn't that so exciting?
Yeah,
It's a
That's what you
throwback
want.
that I think only Claire and a few other people that are still playing would even remember.
Yeah,
That's how long
yeah.
ago that El Clasico really was.
I mean,
it was even Direwolves third place as well. It was Chiefs, Legacy, and then Direwolves just underneath.
It's all
Yeah.
happening again. Please, let's take a look at the schedule for next week because we've mentioned it. It's happening, but there are 3 other games happening at the same time. It's on Saturday, Friday. Avant versus Direwolves for Game 1. Gravitas versus Legacy Game 2. Mammoth take on AV for Game 3. That's not right because there's AV there again twice.
Where does
Oh, AV and Direwolves do play twice. The graphic is correct.
Ah,
Rusty, what did I say?
What's going on?
Never doubt the graphic. And then finally, Direwolves take on Chiefs for Game 4. So I don't really know what's happening
we're
there.
starting to get some double blocks.
I'm looking forward to finding out.
I think it's so the Melbourne boys don't have to
Make so many
hang
trips.
around. Yeah.
Lazy is
I
what I
reckon.
say.
Yeah.
This is all Jake hating Sydney. That's what this is. Something we don't hate, though, the anime entries that you have sent in. We have 3 winners. I'm excited to see them as well. So let's get them up. Each of the winner gets a Guardian of the Sands skin plus the champion. And first one is Zuki Art, who did Bailey.
It even has Jake calling for a referee in there.
Best OPL doggo, very good. So well done, Veronica at Zuki Art. Number 2 is... Oh, wait. I was like, God, that's good. And then actually, that's just like
Oh, it's Croc.
slightly memey. Chewibby, I'm gonna say. Sure. And then
Tubi.
number 3.
Tubi.
Chubby.
We'll go Tubi.
Very nice. Dubsy. That's Order Force.
It's, yeah, Ginyu Force.
Yeah, it's from
With
Dragon
Order.
Ball.
Very nice. Very nice. Jake, you'll be happy with that one.
That was the pose that Order did, I believe, in the photo shoot.
Yeah.
So,
He's shaking his head.
Many
and
teams
said,
have done that
"Yeah,
pose."
idiot."
yeah, it's,
Yeah, many
Yeah.
teams have done that pose. So congratulations to the winners. You can enter as well. You can win yourself some skins, some champions. You just need to draw an OPL-themed anime picture. Send it in by midnight Friday, and you are in the running. A massive thank you to our sponsor, McDonald's, for supporting the show. And a massive thank you to you guys for supporting us as well. Rusty, we've got Spawn, Skimmy, thank you very much, boys. Claire, thanks for joining us. Thanks for the win. Good entertainment.
Thank
Yeah.
you for everything.
Oh, look.
I wouldn't have won without you guys.
You're more than welcome. No, I know. I know
we'll,
that
we'll
I'm-
claim that.
I'm the glue that holds this whole operation together. And speaking of that glue, the MPL is coming up with special guest Katsuri right after this. So we'll see you then.
Instantly flashing in there, he does actually steal it away. He gets what he needs and he does it perfectly as the Ornhorn comes out, only onto Tien, who gets slapped up into the air, but he's just so damn tanky. slam dunks too, slams their heads together afterwards, and the combo! Claire just absolutely disgusting. This is going to be a 4v5. They decide to fight right now. He pulls into the bullet time. All the fray through to Kweku. The shutdown onto Elise. Doesn't matter if you're down on levels because he can still body slam. It's a 2-kill, double kill for the boys of Claire. He's in trouble. He's on his own. He needs the boys to back him up. He can't even get the facemaker off. He can't even get the shield to survive a little bit longer. Everyone's going golden, and it's not even a trophy ceremony. In between a rock and a hard place. There is just so much AoE damage coming across right now, and Claire has the damage, and Claire's hitting double digits. That's another double kill to his name. He wants to triple, but Croc is the one to take it. Can Tien flash across? He can. He can indeed. That is the full 5-man ace. Near the Nexus towers are falling. The second one is destroying. 19 kills to 6. We're not going to see any pad stats. We're just going to see Chiefs go 4-0.
Imagine if you took Coca-Cola No Sugar and full-on froze it. Well, now you don't have to. Head down to Macca's and try the new frozen Coke No Sugar for just $1. Exclusive to Macca's.
強く強く輝いて消えた